Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tim, and today let's watch some spooky, creepy, and mysterious videos together. So let's get right to it.
Nicotine is a published cure for Parkinson's disease, MS, Alzheimer's, ulcerative colitis, all arthritises, all of them. Psoriatic, gout, osteo, rheumatoid. Did you know it's also a published cure? I already mentioned it, myocarditis. Did you know that during 2021, while we were all locked down at home during COVID-19, that our government in the United States was paying researchers to investigate 2 of the 36 poisons that were found in all COVID patients, and they injected them into mammals and created within 72 hours glioblastoma tumors.
Right.
And then they were paid by our government to see if they could reverse glioblastoma tumor formation that they created in 3 days or less. And do you know what they dissolved within 72 hours glioblastoma tumors with? Nicotine.
And what?
So I'm about to teach you something else you may not know.
Sure, I'm open.
So I just mentioned a whole bunch of medical conditions that are improved with nicotine or prevented or cured and published to do so. Did you know that autism traits?
Yeah.
They've already investigated nicotine patches between the shoulder blades of all children and adults, and within 7 days they see improvements in all their symptoms.
Man, if what this doctor's saying is all true, give me some nicotine. Just kidding. Do your own research. If nicotine really is a cure to all of these different stuff, it makes sense that they would want to ban it. Just a thought.
Walking around a Florida home building site right now, and absolutely no one lives here. Look at all these empty homes. The last time we saw anything like this was 2007, right before the big crash. And prices in Florida, they end up going down 50%. You can see even more homes in the distance over there. Now, the cities in Florida that are going down the most right now include Tampa, St. Petersburg, Sarasota, Bradenton, Naples, Palm Bay, Port St. Lucie. Values are dropping all across the state, and they're even about to drop in Miami. And I'm just wondering how much these prices are going to drop, because Florida home buyers are priced out of the market right now. The values went up so much during the pandemic, and none of the local population here can really afford to buy a house with a mortgage, which is why you just have all of these empty home builder homes sitting unsold on the market. These houses are listed around $300,000, $350,000, and they're still not selling. Check this out, everyone. Even more new homes from these builders. You better watch out if you live in Florida in 2025 and you're trying to sell a house, because this market is dropping. Head to www.reventure.app to track the home price trends in your zip code in Florida.
This is one of the reasons why I got out of the mortgage industry. Believe it or not, I used to be a mortgage loan officer, and yeah, I saw this type of stuff, and yeah, it was not looking good. So I tried to get out of the industry as soon as I could, or else I would be trying to sell houses that people obviously couldn't afford. But if a crash is really incoming, we really should start preparing.
This phenomenon is called digital kidnapping, and yes, it is as scary as it sounds. As parents, we love to take photos of our kids and post them. It's a great way to keep our family and friends in the loop. But now experts are issuing this new alert that bad guys are using our posts against us to track our children. This morning, you're about to see how they do it.
Your baby catching.
From Facebook to Instagram, parents sharing their children's lives online. But now the new world's crime, digital kidnapping. Predators stealing your kids' photos and spreading them online. This stranger posting on Facebook claiming this girl was his daughter. In another recent case, a child's photo was tagged on a porn site. Turns out most of us are putting our own families at risk, and we have no idea. You post all the time.
Yeah, I like to post about the kids.
That's Michelle and Reese. They think we're doing a general story about social media. What they don't know, back in Ohio, cyber safety expert Jesse Weinberger is poring over their social media pages, checking for private information. So what do you find here?
Through Mom's Facebook account and everything that she's posted, I was able to find out husband's name, children's names. She has 2 children. I know their ages. I know their dates of birth. I know where they go to school. I have the address of the school. I have the name of the teacher. I know exactly which playgrounds they visit, how often they like to go to each playground.
You were showing me a map where you're actually able to find out the path they take to school, how they walk and when.
Right. It wasn't hard.
But even scarier, she says our photos can have a hidden location signature embedded in them. Even if you don't tag the location, anyone can still find out where you are. What's the danger here?
For example, I know that one of her children broke his leg. How easy would it for me to be to come up to the kid and say, oh, you don't remember me, but I was the nurse when you came to the emergency room. How's your leg feeling?
Come with me.
You know, this makes me think of, I don't know if this is the only people that do this, but I know the Japanese are very private people. They don't want their, I believe they have laws. They have laws covering and blurring people's face out. And if you record people without their consent, then you can actually, that could be like a felony, I believe. Hey guys, Editor Tim here. I just want to clarify some information that I found out while researching. So apparently it isn't a felony to film people without their consent in Japan. If anything, you could potentially get sued if you do so. But even then, I read online that that's maybe not even the case. I think it's less of a legality issue and more of a respect issue. Understandably, people wouldn't want to have cameras shoved in their faces while they're in public and having their face published all over the internet. So very understandable. But yeah, the point still stands. The Japanese do value their privacy, and so should we, I think. But yeah, just wanted to hop on here, clarify that, and well, let's get back to the video. I think they got a point. They got a point. They're doing something right.
Why do you think that moving out of your family's house is a psyop?
It is not just the act of moving out of your family's house, but consider this. If you have 10 members of a family, and they all scatter to the four winds, where they at least a half hour apart from each other, or more, 2 hours apart, states apart, and they will not see each other anymore. And they're going to pay 10 different sets of rent, 10 different sets of utilities, 10 different sets of groceries, 10 different sets of everything. Then what are they going to do? They will live alone in these apartments or in these small structures. They will desperately crave connection with strangers. They will spend tons of money on escapist entertainment. The research actually shows the average American spends about 5 years of their life on escapist entertainment now. And that was before COVID. We need to actually update that information for after COVID now. But the average person, their depression is off the charts. They are crushingly lonely.
You know, that is a fascinating take, actually. You thinking about like the past decades and maybe even the past century too. You do notice the way that society is now compared to back then. It seems like they're slowly but surely separating the family components, separating the mother from the kid, separating the dad from the home, separating the kids from the mom and dad. It seems like there's something going on. It seems like it. I do find that interesting, to say the very least.
There is no such thing as biopsy spreading cancer. They say that out loud, but they have not even one scientific study to show for that, whereas I have 50 to show that they do spread cancer. They just believe so strongly and so blindly in what they were told, and they're afraid of the truth because it means that for years and years and years, doctors have been killing people through biopsies. And they always blame it on the cancer instead of on the metastasis that was caused by the biopsy. Be very careful. Never do a prostate biopsy. Never do a breast biopsy. There are better ways. You don't need the mammogram with its own radiation. You don't need biopsy to tell you if it's cancer or not. You can be 99% sure just by doing an ultrasound with a technician who knows what she's doing.
I can't pretend that I understand everything and all the words that this guy is saying, but if this guy is right, then that means that some bad stuff are going on in the hospitals.
What did you want me to do?
Can you stop by the store and grab some paper towels?
Okay.
And if I don't have Kirkland, can you get the bounty?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, sister.
Roger, Roger.
Yeah. Private school, and then you don't even know how to go train.
If you guys don't know, there is this slang called pigeon in Hawaii. For me personally, I grew up in Hawaii for the beginning of my life, and even to this day, hearing it, I think it just sounds cool.
Your child have a fever? Don't give Tylenol. Here's why. I'm Dr. Pasha, functional urologist and surgeon, here to challenge the status quo. Tylenol blocks our kids' most important antioxidant called glutathione. Glutathione is critical because it boosts our immune function, detoxes our poisons, and very important for our brain development. We actually want our kids to have a fever, and here's why. Fever is actually our natural antibiotic, and letting it run its course will shorten the course of the illness. Number 2, fever actually is critical for tissue repair. Number 3, fever actually drives our kids to rest and decreases their appetite to allow the body to concentrate on the infection. And number 4, it trains our immune system to better respond to illnesses in the near future. So when should you be concerned? If you have an infant less than 3 months, if the fever is over 104, and if the fever lasts more than 3 days. Febrile seizures terrify you. Know that the literature states that as long as it's less than 5 minutes, there is no permanent damage. So the next time your child has a fever, let biology do its job. I like to use the word God. Do the heavy lifting. Think twice before handing the job to Tylenol. Healthy choices, stronger you. Until next time.
Well, amen. Yeah, I do believe that God created our bodies in a certain way to deal with all these things naturally, so.
Guys, I think I got good evidence of a cover-up of San Francisco's real history. Check out this video.
Back in the 1930s, almost all of San Francisco's dead were moved to Colma. It's been illegal to bury dead bodies in San Francisco for over 120 years, and lots of families couldn't afford to have their gravestones moved down south. So the ones that were left behind were inherited by the Department of Public Works and used for infrastructure projects around the city. I'm going to see if I can find some, starting with Buena Vista Park. The gravestones were used to line the rain gutters all up and down the main path. Aha! Found one. Okay, let's see what I can read. D, probably for died on the 22nd, 18 something. Maybe they lived to be 52 years old. Oh my god, found another one. It's in memory of someone. The second, possibly a last name starting with ST. I'm gonna head to the Wave Organ next. It's a beautiful interactive water sculpture sponsored by the Exploratorium. And it's made with PVC pipe and stone from Laurel Hill Cemetery. Pretty cool shapes. Keep an eye out for gravestones in other parts of the city, especially along the shoreline.
Wow, how crazy disrespectful is it that they literally took people's headstones and mausoleums and turned them into gutters and bulkheads? Yikes! Now why would they do this? I'll get to that. First, a little history about the city of San Francisco. Well, it was discovered by the Spanish in 1776, we're told. Also, nobody really lived there until about 1849, so basically the early 1850s. You know, have you ever heard about the 49ers? Yeah, so people went out west in order to find gold, we're told. In 1848, there was like 1,000 people in San Francisco. And by the early 1850s, there was a lot of people. But what this woman just said was, they haven't been able to bury bodies in the city of San Francisco since basically 1900. So think about that. So the city was basically new in the 1850s, and by that first generation of people to die, they were not allowed to bury their dead in the city. Does that make any sense? So what's the deal? Well, as I told you, 1776, supposedly San Francisco was discovered by the Spanish. But it appears on older maps, all the way back to the 1500s. And many maps in between mention either S. Francisco or San Francisco. So now, why would they disrespect people's graves and mausoleums like that? What if one of those headstones or mausoleums had a date on there that was pre-1776? That wouldn't fit, would it? So is that possibly why they would do something so disrespectful as to take somebody's grave and turn it into a gutter? Yeah, I think so. What do you guys think?
That is fascinating. Why would you even do that? Why would you? Why? We can't just graze over the fact that the people's gravestones were broken down and made into gutters. Why? Also guys, if you have any videos that you would want me to watch and we'll watch together, definitely leave them down in the comments below.
Let's play a game called Did You Know? Did you know that just over 100 years ago, there were over 100 homeopathic hospitals across the US alone? So these hospitals were huge. Some of them had thousands of beds, and they were serviced only with homeopathy and had phenomenal results. Did you know that we also had over 1,000 pharmacies across the US? Did you know that the father of modern medicine, considered to be J.D. Rockefeller, who really got pharmaceutical medicine going, did you know that he had his own private homeopaths, 3 of them, that looked after his family? Did you know that J.D. Rockefeller famously said, homeopathy is a progressive and aggressive step in medicine? He loved it and he was vocal about it until he realized how much money petrochemical drugs could make. Did you know that in 1855, the AMA, the American Medical Association, actually made it a law in their code of ethics. If you wanted to be an allopathic doctor, if you were a medical physician, completely trained and graduated, if you wanted to practice medicine, they made it illegal for you to even consult with a homeopath on a case. Because you have to think, at this time, homeopathy is huge, you know, we're really sitting side on side. But what they kept finding, I would say, is that when they would consult together, when the allopath would talk with the homeopath about a case and they would see the results of homeopathic medicine, they had a problem where people kept converting to being homeopaths and their profession was under threat. Hence, making it a part of their code of conduct. And you would think to yourself, surely not. You know, surely you wouldn't have your medical license revoked for talking to a homeopath. And quite literally, there are many people who had this happen, some of which were male medical doctors married to a female homeopath wife. And they had their license revoked. It was too much of a threat. I would say homeopathy, more than any other system of medicine on earth, we have posed a threat to established medicine, hence why we have been the most attacked, the most suppressed. There is a documentary out now, and it's called Introducing Homeopathy. If you haven't watched it, I would urge you to watch it. The link to watch it is in my bio. It is free to watch for the next, I think, 36 hours. It's a must watch. Tell your friends, tell your family, because when you have an experience with homeopathy, you never go back. It is so much more than just a medicine for the physical body. It is the mind, it is the spirit, it is how the human body was made to function. And it's knowledge that we have had, you know, for over 250 years nearly. It's really coming back right now. So get ahead of the game. If you want to know where the future of medicine is going, absolutely watch the film.
Man, that's a pretty dense video. And this, you know, this reminds me of YMCA. I remember going into a YMCA and seeing like through the years how their logo has evolved. And I believe one of the first logos is a triangle, mind, body, spirit, or something like that. And hey, maybe they're onto something. Keeping your spirit, your mind, your mental state, and your body as well healthy. And I do think that there's definitely some merit in that. If one of them aren't healthy, yeah, I can see that it could be put yourself out of whack.
A bizarre yet brilliant business idea is taking off. A new fidget toy is going viral, designed to mimic the oddly satisfying feeling of popping pimples and blackheads. It's a soft, gel-filled pad with tiny pores that can be popped over and over again, making it the perfect stress relief toy for those who find pimple popping satisfying. Completely safe and reusable, this product has huge potential in the fidget toy market. Simple, weird, and in high demand, who would have thought something like this could turn into a profitable business? A bizarre yet brilliant business idea.
Gotta say that is brilliant. That last one looked a little too realistic. I don't know. Had the little trail and goodness, that's a great idea though. Fidget toy though.
Should probably pay attention the next time the World Economic Forum makes a prediction and calls it inevitable. And lo and behold, they are predicting that a coronavirus pandemic, a cyber pandemic, is going to happen, and that it is once again inevitable. So, if you look into the exercise that they have run this year, I believe they ran it in July. They've been meeting and talking about the cyber pandemic, what it would look like. Essentially, their idea is that they're going to have to sanitize the internet because a bug, think of it as like a coronavirus for your computer, is going to sweep globally, and the only way they're going to be able to stop this bug from infecting everything is to effectively shut down the internet, right? And they were talking about bringing down the power grid in an effort to do this. So imagine the government bringing down the power grid, and you would not have access to anything that required an electrical charge.
Oh my goodness, please no, not 2020 all over again. Gotta band together, not falling for it. No compliance, please. That's why, trust in Jesus, the kingdom of God, the best country out there. Can guarantee it.
Honey.
Yeah.
Sorry to tell you that you have to return to your life of debt.
Yeah. The people clap loud when you win a Grammy. They clap louder when you win an Oscar. But the people clap the loudest when you fall. And Champ got knocked out today. There are some last words that I'd like to say to the group. Guys, I don't care how tough you think you are,
Nothing hits harder than life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, okay? And don't be pointing fingers saying, I'm not where I need to be because of him or...
He's spitting some fire though, some fire lines. Oh man, I don't know why they had to skip forward like that in the video, but gotta have a good laugh, right?
Cancer is not a
this can't be
disease,
true,
it's a survival
right?
mechanism. So cancer is not trying to cancer is actually trying to save your life.
Really?
It's creating a tumor, a place for all those toxins to be so that they don't spread to other parts of the body. Okay. When you go to a doctor, the first thing they do is say, okay, well, let's take a biopsy, where they prick the tumor and they see if it was cancerous or not. Well, first of all, whether the tumor is cancerous or not, your passive treatment is still the same. So you don't actually need the biopsy. In fact, most people don't actually die from cancer. They die from the treatment of cancer.
Really?
Yes. And so when they take that biopsy, remember that we're dealing with healthcare, so there's no money to be made off healthy humans.
Right.
And so when they prick the tumor, they're opening it up and allowing the cancer cells and all the harmful toxins to now spread throughout the body.
Jesus.
So now you go from having a tumor on biopsy, they come back, a little bit later and they say, okay, well now the cancer's spreading all throughout your body. So we're going to have to charge you more money, and you're going to have to do more radiation, chemotherapy, and all that, et cetera, which is crazy because Dr. Otto Warburg, who discovered cancer, he won the Nobel Prize for discovering cancer. He said, quote unquote, that no disease, including cancer, so this is any disease out there, can survive in a highly alkaline, highly oxygenated environment.
That is a fascinating take on that. That would make a lot of sense if the cancer was starting to spread around the body after the doctors pricked it. It's like you're opening it up. Wow, that is a very fascinating idea.
When people pass away, there's two kinds of smells. RNs have been giving me all the details that I didn't ask for, by the way, but okay. People die every day in hospitals, right? And who is taking care of them? Nurses, CNAs, people like that. One of my friends is an RN. They said that when someone passes, this kind of scared me a little bit. It'll either be peaceful or it'll be like terror. The peaceful passing leaves like this sweet smell in the room. Very calm. The loved one says sometimes that they see other loved ones coming back to collect them. But on the flip, that other part, they'll start crying out that their feet are burning. They'll say that they're very hot. They start screaming about dark beings in the corner of the room. One even said that the one that was passing grabbed a loved one and said, "They're real," then screamed out and passed away. Oh my God. The emails that I got, she was a nurse for the ICU. There was a patient in there that was a ward of the state. He already had a DNR. Yes. Do not resuscitate. Everything was good. Everything was fine. They had to turn him every 2 hours. They start hearing him scream, "Get out of here. What are you doing here? Get out of here." Check the screens. Nothing was in there. They go in there to check on him thinking maybe he was just like, panicking or something. Crashing. All of his numbers start going bad. I don't know what they were. I'm not a nurse. At the exact same time, his caseworker called. The nurse asked, I need to know, what his code is. And he did say, yes, he confirmed that he's a DNR. And before she could even get back to the patient, he was gone. A week later, she said that if they're short-staffed or something, that they're not allowed to leave and go to the restroom, so they'll use the restroom in rooms that are empty at the time. And yes, they do have housekeeping come in and clean them, but she went to use the restroom and she kind of left the door cracked a little bit, the bathroom door, and boom, shut on her. It did it again another time. That's the only room it's ever happened to her at. My friend, that's an RN, said that when the one passes that's saying that it's hot and that there's feet are burning and all of that, it smells like sulfur, this really horrid, scary smell. Can't be explained from coming from anywhere in the body. Am I a nurse? No. But do I believe him? Yes. Are you an RN, a nurse, or anything like that? Have you ever had anything happen to you like that? Have you ever smelled that smell? I need to know if that happens to other people. When people pass away, there's two kinds
Oof. Oof. Oh, get a little goosebumps. Goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness. Dark beings, sulfur burning. Don't wait to your deathbed. Do not wait to your deathbed before coming to know Jesus. There's hope, there's joy. not only in the next life, but even in this life as well. I can attest to that. And to the nurses, props to you. Not only you guys work your butt off, but you have to deal with stuff like this. Props to you guys. Massive props and respect to you guys.